up. You know, the gloves are a little bit off. You know, we're down to like 81, 82 days till that big day on February 1st. We know what that is. And people now are getting a little bit rambunctious, and that's a good thing. That's okay. And the, various candidates are starting to say things, some of which are true and many things are not true. And I guess I can be accused of that. But so I came across a couple of things. I tweeted this out a while ago. And, we're talking about borders nowadays, right? Does anybody care about borders? You know what? Right? Without borders, we don't have a country. What is it? We don't have borders. They say, oh, you can't do that. You can't move people around. You can't do that. That's not nice. But we got to straighten out our country. It's like unbelievable. But here's something. I tweeted this a while ago, and it still holds true. If you cross the North Korean border, and if you do it illegally, you get 12 years hard labor. 12 years. I think you get more than that. Actually, I think they kill you, but we'll get to that because you have some where they actually do kill you. If you cross the Afghanistan border illegally, you get shot. Okay, so one you get 12 years, one you get shot, right? 2 Americans were imprisoned for 8 years after crossing the Iranian border. Now, you see that with our 4 hostages who we can't get out, even though we gave these guys $150 billion. We have great negotiators. By the way, I guarantee you I would have had them out. And I don't mean lately. We're destroying our country, and we can't do it anymore. And that'll end. That'll end. Like it is for every other country. I mean, almost nobody does it. We're the only ones that do it. And they come from all over. They come from Mexico. They come from Asia. Why not? Have the baby born over here. Come, let's take a vacation. Baby's born, take care of the baby. Great. I mean, how stupid are we? I got a little lucky on that one. I really had no idea. It just didn't make sense. And then all of a sudden, these great geniuses from Harvard Law School, they were all saying, Mr. Trump is actually right. Now they're analyzing it. The bottom line is, I was right. Because it's common sense. Can't happen. Can you imagine going to Mexico, having a baby, and you say, congratulations, you're a citizen of Mexico? They wouldn't even know what you're talking about. They'd laugh you out of the country. A group of people was there last week, very successful people, and they overstayed their 2-week period. They get a knock on the door from the police in Mexico. Why are you here? And this is a very spoiled guy. He was a little embarrassed in front of his group. Some police officer said, why are you here? It's not exactly cool. Why are you here? Oh, well, we just want to stay next. Well, have you signed your papers? Have you made a request of the government? By the way, they're right. I'm not saying wrong. I think it's right. It's the way something's supposed to be run. It's right. The hardest place in the world just about to become a citizen of is Mexico. And yet people and I love Mexico. I love the Mexican people. I have thousands of Mexicans. I have thousands and thousands of Hispanics that work for me or have worked for me. I've created tens of thousands of jobs. Tens of thousands. When I filed my papers, they were big. The biggest ever filed by a factor of many. I jokingly said to your newspaper that I have a store that's worth more money than Mitt Romney. Remember that? The famous article. They said, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, I have a store that's worth more than Mitt Romney. And the paper, your paper, went out and said, that's insulting, that's hard. And they checked it, it was actually true. It was pretty cool. A lot more. Fifth Avenue real estate, it's amazing, right? But when you're a very successful person, successful even, but if you're really successful, I've always heard from the time I'm a little boy, you cannot run for president. You can't. I never understood. I said, I wonder why that is. But I do understand that, I've done hundreds and hundreds of deals. They never talk about any of the good ones. When you do hundreds of deals, hundreds of transactions, and, obviously most of them are good because I'm worth like many, many billions of dollars. They're good deals. And the only reason I say that is because if they're not, then I shouldn't be the one negotiating with China. And believe me, I will be good. I'm going to be good. But I wrote a book the America we deserve, where I said in 2000, before the World Trade Center came down, where I said there's a guy named Osama bin Laden in my book, and we better watch him. And I saw him a couple of times on television, and a friend of mine who's in the military told me, bad guy. And they said, bad guy. And I'm writing this book, and I said, there's a guy, Osama bin Laden, and we better do something about him because he's going to go under Iraq, and this is what I said in the book. And 3 years later, the World Trade Center came down with him. And I'll never forget, 2 weeks ago, I'm watching Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, good show. I don't know if anybody knows, but it's a good show, right? And somebody's saying, you know, Trump actually, and they had the book, they said Trump actually predicted Osama bin Laden would come in and do something very bad, World Trade Center. And he said, yeah, but when did he write it? And they looked, they said 2000. Whoa! He goes, that was before, that's unbelievable. He said that before, he's the only one that predicted it. And I wasn't even in government. And I predicted. Now, who knew this was going to happen? But I would have taken that guy out just based on his threats. We got to know where to fight and when to fight. Iran is taking over Iraq, second largest oil reserves in the world. Iran is taking over Iraq. So, when it happened with Iraq, I said you shouldn't go in. And a delegation came to see me from the White House because I get, for whatever reason, without PR people, without anything, I don't do it on purpose, for whatever reason, I get a disproportionate amount of publicity. Do you agree? Do you guys agree? Look at these guys. They're still standing. Will you sit down? You people are great. Sit down. Look at them. You must like me to be standing. Look how handsome. He's better looking than his father, much, right? But, so what happens is you look at Iraq, and I said, don't do it. And a delegation comes to see me from the White House that they'd like to, have me cool. I say, but you're making a mistake. You're going to destabilize the whole Middle East. Because you had Iran and Iraq that always fight, right? Years I read about wars. Iran goes 10 feet this way, then 10 feet. They were the same. They were like twins, same strength. Then Saddam Hussein would use gas, and they'd use gas, and we'd read about it. I said, yeah, but if you do that, you're going to destabilize because you're going to knock the hell out of one, and the other one's going to come in and take it over. It's pretty simple. I mean, you don't have to be a total genius to figure this out, even though I am a genius, okay? So you're going to, right? So they go in, they knock it out. I was very vocal about it. I said, you're making a mistake. And by the way, I'm more militaristic than anybody in this room, just so you understand. I'm going to make our military so strong, so powerful. I'm going to take care of our vets like nobody's ever taken care of our vets. Our vets are being treated horribly. And by that, I mean the wounded warriors also. They're being treated so badly. Our wounded warriors are being treated badly. Our vets, that whole group of people is being treated. I mean, the illegal immigrants are being treated better than our vets in many cases. And that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad. My theory. This is the Trump theory on war. But I'm good at war. I've had a lot of wars of my own. I'm really good at war. I love war in a certain way, but only when we win. We never win. By the way, when was the last time we won a war? We don't win anymore. Our wars are always politically correct. We don't want to win. We don't want to this. So anyway, so we go in, and we have this horrible situation with Iraq, and now it's a total mess. All right. The polls have come out on, and I love this stuff. They come out on leadership. I was number one by like everything. Many times. I mean, many times. I don't mean I was up 2 points. I mean, many times. On military, I was up. On terrorism, I was up. Can you believe it? Way up. By many times. By times. Not like 3-9. Like, I don't know. CNZ, you're over there. It's like 38 to a few points. And then, for the economy, it was like beyond belief. The only thing I don't do so well is not everybody loves me. I don't know. And I'm actually a nice person. You know? I mean, when I lead by leadership by many times, economy by many times, in the military I lead. And people see that in my book. I said Osama bin Laden. They see that. The president Didn't know about Osama bin Laden, but I do, and I'm building buildings in Manhattan. Why do I know about him and military doesn't? And I wrote him in the book. You have to see it. People have gone out to buy that book because nobody believes it. Osama bin Laden, mentioned in the book. I think it's like 2 years before the World Trade Center came down. You know, it's like I've heard different accounts, from 40 to 60,000 people. Good fighters, ISIS. Good fighters. Smart. Good. And I said, they asked me, so I'm running for president. I'm leading in almost all the polls. And they asked me a question about ISIS. And I say to the announcer, I don't really want to answer it. And the next day, these idiots over here say, Trump doesn't know the answer. The reason I don't want to answer is because I don't want to tell the enemy. If I win, I don't want to have to. Does that make sense? I don't want to tell them. So 2 weeks go by, and I get the question again. How would you fight ISIS, Mr. Trump, if you're president? I said, do I have to answer it? Do I have to? They said, Mr. Trump, we really think it's appropriate. And I did too, because I was getting killed in the press saying I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me. I said, all right, so here's what I do. I hated to do it. Oh, I hated to do it. Because I think I'm going to win. And I don't want these guys. No, I don't want these guys. Because my life has been about victories, in all fairness, okay? It's been about victories. I've had a lot of victories. I'm not like a person that enjoys. You know, you have a lot of people that like to lose, you know. They like to lose. They feel comfortable losing. That's not me. I don't feel too good when I lose. But I said, I don't want to really tell you. But then I realized I had to, because I was getting killed by these people. They said, Trump doesn't have a plan for ISIS. I said, no, I have a plan, but I don't want to tell ISIS what it is. Because I might win. I had to. I said to my wife, I said, you know, I got to tell him about this plan. I'm going to have no choice. Because otherwise I'm not going to win. People are thinking like I don't have a plan. I hate doing it. So I'm on one of the shows, and I said, look, ISIS is making a tremendous amount of money because they have certain oil caps, right? They have certain areas of oil that they took away. They have some in Syria, some in Iraq. I would bomb the shit out of them. I would just bomb those suckers. And that's right. I'd blow up the pipes. I'd blow up the I'd blow up every single inch. There would be nothing left. And you know what? You'll get Exxon to come in there, and in 2 months, you ever see these guys, how good they are, the great oil companies? They'll rebuild that sucker brand new. It'll be beautiful. And I'd ring it, and I'd take the oil. And I said, I'll take the oil. ISIS is making millions of dollars a week. Millions of dollars with oil. Now, they're also getting money from Saudi Arabia. Can you believe it? They're getting money from other people. They're getting money through the various banking systems in the Middle East, which are very complex systems. Very, very, I study banking systems. I mean, who's taken advantage of banks more than I have? I'm a professional. Nobody. I love banks. They're the greatest. But you know what? ISIS is making a fortune on the oil. So I said, oh, and I hated to do it. I actually did it low-key because I just hated to do it. Does that make sense to anybody here? I hated to do it. And I said, that's what I do. I'd bomb the hell out of them. I'd then get Exxon, or I'd get, I'd bid it out. I'd bid it out. You get this one, you get this one, you get this one. They'll rebuild it so fast. They're incredible what they can do. It really is amazing. And it'll be brand new, beautiful, and I'd ring it. The soldiers wouldn't be in danger. I'd ring it. I want to protect it. And we'll take the oil forever. When we left Iraq, I said, take the oil. Everyone said, oh, that's terrible. That's a sovereign country. They're a bunch of thieves, these guys. They were taking millions and millions in cash and putting it in their pockets. We were delivering satchels of cash there in Afghanistan. It's out of control. They deceived us because they didn't take care of the Kurds. They didn't take care of the whole thing. ISIS formed because these people were not allowed to partake in God. That's where ISIS came from. It came out of Iraq. And ISIS turned out to be a hell of a lot tougher than the guys running Iraq. But this is where it all started. What we have created is unbelievable. And I say by us building up the military, somebody said, oh, you're going to spend a lot of money on military. I said, yeah, I'm going to spend money. That's the greatest investment we can make because the world wants to kill us. And if we go strong, really strong, nobody's going to mess with us, folks. It's going to be cheap. It's so cheap. It's going to be so inexpensive to build up our military compared to where they think we're weak. We've got to be so strong. And I mean, I say it all the time. We've got to be so strong, so powerful, so advanced because we have the right equipment. We have the great stuff. We have the great stuff. We're selling it to people, and sometimes the wrong people. Sometimes we're giving it away, and we're giving it away to... But we have the brain power. We have the great people. We have the great stuff. But we've got to be so strong and so advanced that nobody plays with. It's so important. It's so cheap. You know, somebody said, oh, you're going to spend... No. I'm going to spend here, but we're not going to have wars because nobody's going to touch, especially with me, because I'm so unpredictable. I'm so unpredictable. We have 100 million people that are in a, they want to work. They can't work. If you're looking for a job and you give up after a number of months and you go, you just can't get one, they consider you employed. That number, 5.2%, is such a phony number. The real number is probably 25%, probably 30 or 35%. Because, I said it today, if that number were correct, I wouldn't have 20,000 people in Dallas. I wouldn't have 35,000 people in Mobile, Alabama. I wouldn't have 20,000 people in wherever I go. In Oklahoma, I had 20,000. I wouldn't have these crowds. I have by far the biggest crowds of anybody. If that number were correct, this room wouldn't be packed with an auditorium outside that's also packed. Wouldn't be packed. We're in trouble. We probably have a 25% unemployment rate. So we need somebody that's going to produce jobs. Illegal immigration is terrible. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be so big, so strong, so powerful. No truck is going to ride over it in a ramp. And it's going to be done for the right price. And by the way, I say it all the time. And I mean it. That's what I do. Mexico is going to pay for the wall. I'm not going to pay for it. We're not paying for the wall, folks. Mark my words, we're not paying for the wall. And I'll tell you another thing. I believe, two other things that people are going to be surprised at. I believe I'll be the best at the military that we've had in many, many, many years in this country. I really think I'll be better at the military than at the jobs. And I will be a great unifier. People say, oh, well, you're very polarizing. I'm not polarizing. When we start winning, this country's going to come together. This country's totally polarized right now. You look at what's going on with colleges. You look at what's going on in Baltimore and saying, look, this country is a mess. We're totally polarized right now. This country needs a cheerleader. We need somebody that can promote our country as being great again. We need it, and we need it badly, and we need it fast because we're going in the wrong direction. So I only tell you this. I love Iowa. I've been here so many times now. I think I'm going to buy a farm and maybe just move here. I like it. But, no, I might. I love it. I love it. But I can only promise you this, that if I win and if I become your president, all right, well, that always happens. They always say when, but I got to say if. Look, I'm running against a lot of people. And I'll say when just to make you happy, when. But the truth is it has to be if. It has to be. Look, there's always, who knows what happens. But if and when I win, I will make our country so great, so strong, so wonderful. People from the Democrat side, people from the Republican side, from the conservative side, from the liberal side, they'll be happy. They're going to be brought together. When I win, you will be so proud of your country. And you're going to remember this night. This is a special night. This is funny. This is a night I've really enjoyed being with you. It's sad in many ways because we're talking about so many negative topics. But in certain ways, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Because we're going to turn this country around, and we're going to make it not great. We're going to make it greater than it's ever been before. We can do that, okay? We can do that. We're going to make it greater than it's ever been before. And I love you all, and I thank you very much. And we will be back. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great people. Thank you, everybody.